Here's something you guys don't normally see. At least I don't think you do. We're down in my machine shed. We went through, Ryan helped me the other day. We kind of shifted everything around in here and reclaimed a bunch of room. The chisel plow was just dropped down here today. Ryan and Dad did this earlier. The chisel plow is good to go. I don't know if anybody's wondering about what we did for the gang, but we ended up going and finding a bolt from the local machine shop, tighten it down as tight as we could, resulting on me standing on top of the pipe wrench with a big pipe on the end of the pipe wrench and then jumping up and down on it. Got it tightened down as tight as we could, and then I went through and welded it on. Not ideal, but in all the years we've had this chisel plow, we've never had to take the gang off other than for everything I had to do to it last year. So I went and redid the arms, the bearings and everything, so unless something really grenades on it, we shouldn't have to take that disc gang back apart anytime soon. You know, unless like the rod in it actually breaks in half, which will make it pretty easy to get it back apart. If I ever did, torch it, grind it, and tear it apart, and we'd actually have to go through and probably get a custom made rod for that, but we'll cross that bridge when it gets here. The bean head, that is probably 3 weeks out from getting pulled out and gone through. It shouldn't need any work. We went through 2 years ago, put a new cutter bar on it, or sickle section bar. These are really simple to the point where I'm not really too worried about having to do too much to it. The teeth on it, the sickle sections are still very sharp. It's got to be greased. Anybody that hasn't or doesn't have a full fingered auger on the back of those grain grabbers, definitely worth the money. Extremely simple to install. Spider webs in there, and they help out significantly as far as the feeding into the head or into the combine. The problem we were having before is that it would slug really bad. It would build up, and you'd swear you're gonna grind the combine to a halt. And I haven't had to. Well, last year we did plug the back of the head where it takes into the feeder house. We plugged that, but that's as bad as it ever got. And if that's as bad as it ever gets, I'm perfectly fine with that. The feed mill will be using that this winter. The little red wagon from M&W, which I believe is now part of Rhino Ag, we will be using that again this year, albeit probably the same amount as we did last year. More of just a store of grain, because that easy trail we have right now, that 500 bushel, huge difference going from that M&W to that 500 bushel easy trail. This was a huge wagon going from that 250 bushel, what was it? I can't remember the name of it right now. But the 250 bushel grain wagons we had back when we were milking, this was the main wagon I'd hook onto, and then now this is a little bitty wagon compared to that easy trail, which that easy trail is really nice. Even behind the 7600, it's a lot of wagon. It took us a few trial runs pulling out of my driveway because it is so steep to make sure that gradually the more grain we put in it, to make sure that it wouldn't push me out the driveway. That is why I went ahead and put those weights on the rims of the 76. I'm not a fan of liquid in the tires and the rims. Never was. I really don't want to put liquid in the 76 rims. They start leaking, they crack, they rust everything out. I mean, it's starting to show on the 46. Not a fan of it. I wouldn't be opposed to going ahead and putting another set of weights on the rear of those weights that are on there. But until I have a reason to, I'm not going to worry about it. The hay tedder, that will get used one more time. The reason being is because we did fertilize after second crop, and third crop is coming along really well, and it is going to yield probably similarly to first crop, because we are letting it grow up to get tonnage. We're not really worried about quality. We're feeding our beef cattle, which you can get away with a little bit more with beef cows as opposed to dairy cattle when you're worried about, you know, milk production. Beef cattle, beef steers, they're already getting the grain. The bales to us are really just roughage. So the grain drill, may end up using this again this fall. And I didn't really mean for this to be a walkthrough of everything in my shed. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of room in here, but we're going to try to move some more of that stuff from Rockville down here. We did try that 500 bushel easy trail. It won't fit through my machine shed door here. That one is taller. We can get the 46 in it and everything. Funny story, a little bit of a story time. Grandpa, when he built this machine shed, this is the first farm that my grandpa built when he started farming on his own. When he built this machine shed, the guy that built this shed said that this would be big enough for any machine that Grandpa ever would need, that he would ever own. Oh, that lasted for about 5 years. And now this machine shed can't even get most of our equipment in it. They used to at one time, was it the old 4400s combines? They used to get in here through the back door, or the side door. Our tractors, like our 4440, my 7600 doesn't clear that by very much. It clears that rotary beacon on top by an inch, 2 inches. So it's really close. The 4640, same thing. I don't even think the hood, the cab roof clears on it. But it is a nice, simple, you know, yearly storage machine shed. You know, you got the combine head and the wagons and stuff like that. I do have to talk about the cultivator a little bit more in detail next year, because I can guarantee you we are going to side dress the cultivator again. The corn looks awesome. The only corn that looks terrible is the corn that's currently hiding behind my house. That whole field is pretty well flat. It's looking pretty nasty. I haven't done a video on it. I can't really do it justice, to be honest with you. I almost need a drone. But it was, when I did that crop damage video a while back, it was limited to just the lighter soils in the field, the rockier soils. We had, it was about 4 or 5 days ago, we had that really strong wind and downpour. I think it was Sunday night. And was that Sunday? Might have been Saturday. Saturday, it doesn't matter. It was the other day. Been kind of busy, got a lot of things on my mind, and I really haven't been looking out the windows of my house here lately, at least to the west. And I was leaving my driveway today, and I happened to glance over, and the corn on the nice soil over there is pretty well flat. And the bad side about it is that I know it's so terrible, is that looking across to the other field, I can see the bottoms of the corn that is still standing, because the corn that is below it towards me, that much is flat to the point where I can actually see full stalks of corn standing. So that's going to be a hoot and a half trying to combine. So this is my little shed tour. You guys are asking, maybe not all of you, but some of you are asking about a tour of this building down here. I may just go ahead and do it. The milk house really is nothing to talk about, but to go through and the barn itself, I can probably run through it real quick. It's not really going to be that much of a in-depth video, so don't get too excited about it. But it's pretty well stripped out. The cows got in it a while back and tore it up, so it looks kind of rough, kind of like my field road. Looks a lot nicer than what it did. I dug this all out to kind of divert the water that is running down my field road. I gotta grade my driveway again. Yes, it's a constant thing around here. I went through and fixed this up. I spent 2 days fixing this up, beginning of August, because August is typically a dry month. Okay, hear me out. Well, it seems how August is such a nice dry month. I went through, Ryan and I hauled a bunch of dirt, gravel, fixed everything up, got it leveled out nice. So that way going into harvest, we're gonna have these nice smooth roads to be pulling crops out of here. Well, then we had about a week and a half after we went to all that work, we had a torrential downpour, and the problem is it was so dry that the rain that we got, it wouldn't absorb into the ground because it came so fast. It just ran right off, which it did help in a way how I dug this out, because I dug this dip in to divert the water back that way, so it kind of slowed it down before it went down the driveway. For how much rain we got, I am really impressed by how well it took the rain that we had. I mean, this through here, I'm going to build that back up again. I do have 2 stops built in up above, and I actually have to put in 1 more about halfway between up there, just because it's a field road. So, oh well. I think I've talked enough for tonight. I'm tired. I got a migraine. My head's heavy with all this other stuff that's on my mind, so I'm going to talk to you guys. I won't talk to you guys tomorrow. Well, I guess I'll talk to you when I talk to you. So, until then, take care. Take it easy. Keep in touch. It is a really beautiful night out, to be honest with you. We got my whole big herd of 2 cows running down there. But it is expanding. I got a heifer down there. You guys can kind of see, maybe you can't. That's the field that's pretty much destroyed. It's only a 5-acre field. That is the only field that we have with any significant weather damage. So if that's the worst that we have, or if that's the cost that we have to pay, the price we have to pay to avoid any other crop damage, oh well, it's worth it, I guess. So before I go into the house and see what Brittany's up to, I'm gonna talk to you guys later.